Welcome to this brand new Belly Dance for Beginners course with me, Lindsey Marie Silver, here at Little Egypt Studio in Scotland. In this course, I'm going to be guiding you through 6 of the amazing fundamental movements that you'll find in any kind of belly dance. And it's going to build your repertoire so you can dance with loads of fun, enjoyment, but also have it be boosting for your well-being. Let's dive in. So we can start off then by coming into what's known as our basic stance. So this is a basic alignment that it might be new to you or you might be returning to this, but it's a wonderful idea to just form really good habits throughout your dancing experience. And the habits that you form now at the very beginning go with you on your entire journey. So let's have a little look at this alignment. So whether you're refreshing this in your mind and in your body, or if it's brand new to you, what I want you to do, first of all, just take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just take a moment to notice naturally where your feet rest, where your knees are, your hips in relation to those, your chest and your shoulders, your head. So most of us stand with tension through particular areas of our body. Oftentimes we have short, strong hip flexors, which means that the hips can come out of neutral, and the shoulders tend to roll forwards in our modern day lives. And this over time can lead to all sorts of different things throughout the body. The kinetic chain can become a little bit out of whack and out of balance. So we're going to just first of all readdress those things and ensure that your dancing not only looks amazing, but that it's really good for you. It boosts your well-being and it feels amazing when you're in it. So let's start off then with our feet about hip width apart. Now you can use your own foot as a little bit of a measure there, if you want to. And from here, I want just to bring a bend to your knees. Just really focus on softening up your knees. So you could bring a little bit of a dip through your knee and then a little bit of an extension. Now I'm always going to encourage you to dance with a little bit of a soft bent knee. Okay, so a little bit of a bend throughout your entire dance journey. That's going to be deeply respectful to your knees and health-giving. So we're going to rest with about 1 inch or 2 of a bend through the knee, and then from there you're going to come all the way up through your legs with relaxation and up towards your hips. Now your hips, as we said, might have a little bit of a pelvic tilt. About 80 to 90% of the population actually have this anterior tilt of their pelvis. So we're just going to address that now, and I'm going to show you later on a more advanced way of finding where is neutral for you. Now the concept of neutral within the body, neutral alignment, nobody is a plastic skeleton that you're going to see in your doctor's surgery or anywhere else. We all use our bodies differently, and so you're going to have a little bit of your own quirks within your own physiology. But what we're going to do is find neutral for you in the most simplistic way right now by just tilting your pelvis back and forwards. Tilting back into posterior tilt, tilting forwards into anterior tilt. The anterior and posterior tilt that we're working with does actually form a movement itself. Now what I want you to do as you do that is bring a little bit of a contraction through what's known as your pelvic floor muscles. So that's the muscles all the way on the undercarriage of your body. So all the way around from your bum, all the way around towards your low abs. So you're going to contract those muscles as you tilt your pelvis, and then you're going to release those muscles as you tilt backwards. So after you've done that a few times, I want you just to now focus on finding where is the middle of there. So you want to find that midway point, and when you find that, I want you just to relax into there. And you'll know that you found that midway point because you'll be able to stand with your thighs fairly relaxed. So you're not forcing your hips into this neutral position. You're finding where you can naturally relax, but you've gently angled your tailbone ever so slightly closer towards the ground. And just over time and over practice, you'll find that the muscles in the front of your hips, if you're dancing with excellent technique, as I'm going to be showing you how, you'll find that the hip flexors at the front of the hip want to lengthen and they want to enable you to find your neutral. So from here, let's, with the hips in your neutral, which is neutral for you right now in this very moment, and your neutral shifts day to day, week to week, month to month, in alignment with the moon, actually. Crazy. And lunatic, a lunatic. Perhaps I'm a lunatic. Perhaps we all are. Let's bring some relaxation all the way up through the spine as you now bring your awareness to bringing alignment throughout the full length of spine. Tailbone sinks to the ground and the crown of your head comes up towards the sky. Feel that alignment sink into there, and from here, let's look at our rib cage. So most people tend to have this forward shoulder, collapsed rib cage in their daily lives, which can also bring all kinds of things, not just on a physicality, but on an emotional level. This feels very closed off, it feels very disempowering, perhaps quite shy, and you maybe don't want to take all the positive steps that are available to you. Whereas if we just lift a little bit through the low section of your rib cage, lift upwards and outwards for me now, just an inch or two through there. Already you feel yourself start to open up to life and really raise into your full potential to grow and develop and shine. Do you feel that really starting to happen already? And all we did was lift through the ribcage just an inch or two there. Then what we can do with this opening all the way through ribcage, opening starting to take place through your shoulders now, we can really encourage that further opening up and personal growth and development by bringing the shoulders forwards, bringing them all the way up towards the sky. Now bring them back. Slide your shoulder blades together, slide them down your back, and you've opened up. You've really opened up through your chest now. Feel it. And there's this sense of gentle, elegant pride that comes with that. Really embracing that inner goddess, that swan-like grace that was there all the time. We're just really opening up your physicality for that. We're opening up your posture for grace. And then here we can start to just bring the back of the spine into alignment. So you're aligning the back of your neck rather than having this deep curve through the neck. You can really begin to straighten up through there. So you might view that as bringing your chin back. But of course, what we're doing is bringing the entire spine into alignment. So you might hear me refer to as bring the chin back. Of course, what I actually mean is the whole spine. From there, just re-engage with that sensation of lengthening through the spine. Tailbone comes to the ground. And then just relax and feel what it is to be truly aligned in that positive way. And whilst you're feeling into that, let me just also share with you that as we opened up through your chest and through your shoulders, what also happened was probably your hands had been facing behind you, towards the back, away from you, towards the past. But then what we did is as we rolled the shoulders back, you rotated through your elbow, through your forearm, and you'll probably find that now your palms are facing towards the future, towards the sunlight, towards growth and development and joy and love and deep inner happiness. Okay, so hopefully now, just feeling a little bit more familiar with that stance. Let's now move on. So this is your basic stance, and I want you just to focus a little bit, and it's going to take some effort to begin with, but as you get more and more used to this feeling, you'll begin to think less and less about how to align yourself that way, and you'll find it just happens. But I want you just to bring your awareness towards that alignment throughout your dance experience, certainly throughout this course. And as we go on, you'll need less and less of a reminder from me. Okay, so next, moving on from your basic stance into the breath. So the breath, of course, is the source of life, you could say. It's something that happens all the time without us even thinking about it. Your body is just programmed to do that. Your lungs just do that for you, don't they? Without even a thought. Quite a nice reminder that you don't need to effort in everything. You don't need to constantly effort. It can just be. So within dance, the breath is so interwoven with movement and expression, isn't it? So let's just look at a couple of really, really simple ways to breathe within your dance. Now, first of all, we're going to mimic the way that most people breathe in their everyday. And you probably found yourself doing this today at various points, particularly if you had a stressful day. So what we're going to do first of all is chest breathe. So chest breathing is shallow and it comes from up here in your rib cage. And I want you just to take some short, sharp breaths. Not so much that you start to hyperventilate. You shouldn't feel dizzy or faint with anything that you do in our dancing. If you do feel that, just stop, return to your regular breath, maybe have a little rest, sit it out, and then join us again. But this is important just so that you know what chest breathing looks and feels like, and we can actually avoid that. Okay, so if you're ready, we're going to breathe into the chest. You're going to feel the upper section of your chest expand and contract, expand and contract. Just give that a shot just now in your own time. Let's just raise our hands out to the side here. So we're going to just in and out through your nose. What you might notice is it feels a little bit limiting. There's so much more to your lung capacity. There's so much more space that you can utilize. There's so much more you can feel. So now let's switch that chest breathing out. Let's use some deep down belly breathing. So I want you now to take a deep breath in, and rather than raising your rib cage, expand your belly. Breathe in, expand your belly, and then perhaps you could expand through the rib cage in the upper half. Wow, how much more space do we have? Now breathe out. And as you breathe out, you can return the rib cage and the belly. Let's just try belly breathing for now and leave the upper half of your rib cage out. So let's fill the belly with breath. And in your own time, we're going to breathe that out. Let's try this time. Breathe in through your nose and gently breathe out through your mouth. Again, breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. What you'll find as you do that is, I didn't even have to ask you to, but you probably found that your breaths were much longer You took fewer breaths in that space of time. They were longer, and did it feel more fulfilling? Did it feel perhaps more satisfying? Did you feel yourself literally embodying the breath, embodying the air? It's much more grounding to breathe right down here, and we actually also happen to stimulate things like the vagus nerve within the body that encourage you to relax. It releases relaxing chemicals through your body. So we can breathe in through belly, breathe in through rib cage, expansion, and then we can release the breath, release through chest, release through belly. That looks gorgeous. Everybody joining me live here in our class via Patreon, you look awesome doing that. I can tell that you're really enjoying that relaxing sensation that brings. Okay, so as we do that really deep breathing as well, let me just talk to you about another kind of breathing, which is diaphragmatic breathing. Your diaphragm sits right in here. Just kind of, for simplicity's sake, let's say that curve of your rib cage, just up above that. So in there, and it lifts and lowers as you breathe. The other thing I want to just mention on breath before we move into deeper movement within this session is I want to talk to you about a muscle group, or a muscle in particular, known as, this is one of my favorite, if not the favoritist muscle name throughout the whole body. It's called sternocleidomastoid. And sternocleidomastoid sits in here, all the way down your neck and all the way in towards your clavicle. It comes all the way down here. And sternocleidomastoid is incredibly important for life. But as a dancer, it's incredibly important to know about sternocleidomastoid and the job that it does, because we use it all the time. It's particularly important for belly dancer because we tend to have our arms elevated like this quite a lot. So now that you know roughly where sternocleidomastoid is, or exactly to be precise, what does it do? Well, a few jobs, but one of the jobs of sternocleidomastoid is to lift and lower your rib cage during breath. So if you find yourself doing that chest breathing, that short, sharp chest breathing, that's actually adds stress to the body, you might be overworking sternocleidomastoid. We want to contract it a little bit in every breath, because then it's doing its job. We're using the muscles as they were intended. The other thing that it does is, of course, helps to support your neck. And when we elevate out like this, what happens is the muscles of trapezius coming all the way down here and out to your shoulders and all the way down here, they come into play, but also the muscles of the neck all crisscross over each other, and we activate in through sternocleidomastoid. So if you're out here like this all the time, you're short and strong through those muscles. So it's really, really important that you know how to lengthen out through sternocleidomastoid, and that you know how to breathe properly, so you're not overworking that set of muscles. One of the other things that it's important for is posture. So we end up coming forwards like this in our dance, and we're elevating through trapezius rather than all of the muscles of the neck and shoulders and upper back. So really gorgeous stretch for all of the muscles of your neck, your chest, your shoulders, and your upper back. Really simple one here. Walk your fingers down your thigh, and with your shoulder in alignment, you're going to gently bring your head over towards the side, just using the support of your hand and your arm. On the other side, walk your fingers down and bring it across to the other side. So I'm literally just bringing my head directly across. So I'm giving you this knowledge and this stretch right now the very, very beginning of your belly dance journey. Let's bring that into center. Let's just do that one more time each side. Now this can be formed into part of a warm-up. I wouldn't suggest doing a static stretch like this. What I would recommend doing on a regular basis as you come into the beginnings of your dance is to bring it into dynamic movement technique. So let's bring the head into center. And then what we can do is begin to bring your chin to your chest, bring your ear to your shoulder. And then we're going to bring that back. Bring your chin to your chest and your ear to your shoulder. Now you can do this with a raised hand or just bring your hands down by your side. Chin to your chest and your ear to your shoulder. So dancers who dance belly dance for a very long time, one of the common complaints is that they get sore neck and sore shoulders. So we're literally ensuring that you don't have that experience. You don't need to. We don't have to do that. Let's not go there. So just literally doing a few of those every now and then, and at the beginning of each time that you dance can be really, really gorgeous. So there's all of that knowledge and information for you there. So with that, we're going to move on in this session and have a little bit of a look at something known as a slide. So slides can be done throughout various parts of the body, multiple parts of the body. They have multiple variations. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into that basic stance with your feet about hip width apart, bend through your knees, tuck the hips under, lift through your rib cage, shoulders come round and down. Note the palms come forwards. Bring the back of your neck into alignment, crown of the head to the sky, and your tailbone comes to the ground. Now take a deep breath in. Let's see if we can use some of that deep belly breathing. And in your own time, breathing out. So we're going to pick up a very basic arm position right now. This is one of the most standard, basic hand and arm positions that you'll find across different styles of belly dance. So it feels appropriate to bring this in right now. So we're just going to hold this frame, and I'll talk to you in future a little bit more about hand and arm positions and this one in particular. But for now, we're just going to elevate here. Relax your shoulders, relax your elbows and your wrists. Relax your hands, but we're going to feed life all the way down to fingertips. Now here, your slide, what you're going to do is take your weight, which is across both feet, it's equally through your hips, and all the way up through your body. What you're going to do is shift your weight out towards one side. Shift your weight out towards one side and bring your hip out towards that side. As you do that, you're going to bend through your knee. Then we're going to come back through center and take it across towards the other side. Lengthening all the way through your waist and adding an extra bend of your knee. So both knees are bent all the way throughout. But what you're doing is as you bring your hip out towards that side, you're going to extend that bend of the knee so that you can keep your hip line level and parallel with the floor. If you feel that, that's quite intense, bringing your arms on this lateral raise for quite a long time, if you're not used to it, it can be quite a workout, quite a muscular endurance workout. And if you feel that is too much for you right now, at any time you can just lower your hands down by your side. You can frame the movement with a low hand if you want to. Let me just give you that option right there. And also, whilst we're on it, just to mention that your movement should always, if you're dancing with me, I feel your movement should always be feeling joyous and fun. Your body should be happy. If something doesn't feel right for you, for where you're at in this very moment, you don't need to do it. But what I would recommend is that you can try each movement on the smallest movement pattern, the tiniest of movement, and if it feels good, you can make it bigger from there. Always know that you can return down to the smallest, tiniest fraction of movement, or just basic stillness and returning to that basic stance and breathing technique at any time. Okay, I'm glad that you know that, and you know that I have your best interests at heart. This is what we're doing here, is having so much fun. Lots of feminine, sensual, joyous dancing that looks incredible and actually does tremendous things for your well-being. That's what we're all about. So in through center, come out to the side. Let's try a little bit faster, shall we? Slide, center, slide, center, slide, 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 slide. You could lower hands, slide, slide. How does that feel? Just take a moment to notice how that feels. Now what's possible here is you might find that your hips have come out of neutral and you're kind of standing a little bit like this. That's normal to begin with, don't worry about that. And I'd say to begin with, but even beyond the beginning, like years on, you could still have that pops in every now and then, or pops out rather, your hips pop out. So just be mindful of that might happen in any movement, not just the slide, but your hips might want to just do a cheeky little maneuver by themselves. So just activating through those pelvic floor muscles to assist. Nice. So this is the slide of the hip through your low half. Bring it into center here. Now, another thing that we can do with that slide is we can take that slide to the upper half of your body. So with the low half of your body in alignment, upper half of your body in alignment, breathing deeply through belly. As you breathe out, let's elevate our arms once more in that position that we had. Now, rather than moving your hips out to the side and shifting your weight, I want you to keep your weight steady, centered around your feet and around your whole hips area. And then what we're going to do is you're going to shift your upper body weight out towards one side. And as you do that, you're bringing your rib cage out to the side. Imagine that you had a ribbon attached to the low section of your rib cage, and you're just gently pulling on that ribbon, and it brings you out towards the side. Yeah? See how that feels? Now, naturally what will happen is there will be a little bit of a shifting of weight through your feet. So you're going to feel your weight slightly more on one foot than the other, but not entirely. Okay, let's bring that into center. And as you come into center, just take a moment to rebalance and recalibrate your entire system there. Is everything still in neutral? If not, make a slight adjustment there. Take a deep breath in, elevate through your arms. And as you breathe out, you've fueled the muscles before you use them, and let's slide your upper half all the way out to the other side. You should feel that lengthening through your waist. Let's bring that into center now. Notice the returning of the weight all the way around the outside of your feet, all the way around your entire hip complex. Lift through, deep breath in through belly. Expansive breath, and as you breathe out, let's try that a little bit faster now. So we're going to come all the way out to the side, through center, side, in through center. Now, what your body's going to want to do is seek out the simplest way of doing something. Our bodies are so efficient, or they seek to be, at least. So if you ask your body to do a specific movement or maneuver, sometimes or often your body reroutes the signals to the strongest muscles, the ones it knows are going to fire straight away, the ones that take less muscle control. But what we are going to do is we're going to seek to recruit even the smallest muscle groups, not just the superficial large muscle groups, but also the real interior muscles, the real intricate muscles, so that we're using different types of motor skills Come all the way through. Here we go. Make that a bit faster if you want to. So what your body's going to want to try and do is this. Because that uses larger muscle groups, less muscle control, and less definition is required through your muscles, less tonnage. But what we are going to do is really refine that movement so it appears as though we're sliding our boobs along a shelf. Sure, Isla would say that. Isla is here live with us right now. Give me a big thumbs up if you like that analogy. So you're sliding your boobs along a shelf. Yes, I like my silly analogies. If you've got a silly analogy for this movement, feel free to share it, drop it in the comments. I'm sure we'd be delighted to know. And have a right good chuckle. All right, so there we go. So rather than bringing your shoulders down like this towards the ground and using just the bigger muscles, we're using the large muscle group and also the smaller, more internal muscle groups as well. Nice. So the shoulders stay level, just in the way that the hips had stayed level previously, the shoulders are staying level. And so there is one more obvious slide that we could do. There's loads more, but just to bring you one more, quite obvious, since we worked our way up through the body in the basic stance, we're working our way up through the hips with the slide, through the rib cage with the slide, and now let's have a little shot of a head slide, shall we? So the head slide, working with the same basis, the same, it's the same kind of family of movements. So what we're going to do this time, first of all, I'll let you decide. You can either just lower your hands down by your side, or you can bring them out in an elevation. The focus right now, not so much on the framing, but more on the actual movement itself. So with your whole body in that natural alignment, because here's the thing, if you're in that alignment throughout your whole body, there is so much less chance of injury. So much more chance for joy and enjoyment. And it's going to look so much more beautiful as well, very elegant. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to bring a slide to the head. Now, this movement is not for everyone, and one of the reasons I spoke to you about the muscles of the neck and shoulders and upper back is that there's certain movements that can trigger these muscles, and if you have tension through these areas, you might want to avoid, or you might just want to seek to increase the flexibility and reduce the tension through those muscles. So on our YouTube channel, you'll find some gorgeous stretching classes and also a self-care massage workshop that can really help to release those muscles. So if you feel you have tension in those areas, feel free to seek that out. So here we go. Let's bring the hands out in front of us, and we're just going to slide the head one side to the other. Now imagine that you're bringing your ears one side to the other. You could be sliding your head along. Yes. Good. Take the hands wide. So what your body is going to want to do is this. But what we want to have a little shot of is bringing the head directly out to the side. So we're forming a straight line through the ears, through the eyes. It's a very mysterious movement often. You'll find it in lots of kinds of dance, not just belly dance, but belly dance and Indian dance forms, lots of classical Indian dance. They're, to my mind, like cousins, and the basis of them, they have very similar origins. I'm going to talk to you in the next session about the considered history and origins of belly dance. It's something that there's been lots of debate over throughout the years. I'm going to share with you research that I've done to answer that question. And alongside of that, we're going to refresh everything that we did, just give you a little bit of a recap of that in the first session. And then we're going to move on and add all sorts of glorious movements. It's going to be a lot of fun and truly beautiful. Thank you so much for being here in this brand new course. I cannot wait to share the next, well, now 5 weeks with you. If you've got any questions or anything you'd really like to focus in on in this term and learn on a really deep level, do let me know. Drop me a few comments, hit me up with the chat. I'd really love to help you on your belly dance journey. And woohoo! Let's get shimmying! Whee! So much fun to look forward to. Wow! Beautiful. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit notifications so you can be informed of when the next video goes up. If you'd like to support the creation of these videos, remember you can head along to patreon.com/Little Egypt Studio, where you'll find a community of other enjoyers of these videos. See you soon. Bye.